If you're watching the YouTube version and you're wondering why I got Xbox CEOs dressed as clowns, ladies and gentlemen, it turns out the rumors were true. The bloodbath was today. Microsoft laid off almost 5,000 employees. Let me turn this shit down just a little bit. A year after cutting around almost 10,000 employees, Microsoft is making further layoffs today as it begins its new financial year. The software maker is laying off around 4,800 employees today, approximately 2.1% of its workforce. Most of the employees affected by today's cuts are in Microsoft's commercial sales business or the company's Xbox division. Which, you know, by the way, I saw a video. It was one dude talking to Trevor Noah, and he was saying like the capitalism that's going on like today, this late stage stuff, he said it started in the 80s, because he said before the 80s stuff like this didn't exist, where like if a company was like just barely profitable, like 2, 3, 4, 5%, they wouldn't cut the staff. You would only cut staff if the company was actually bleeding cash. But he's like, this is a fairly new thing where it's like they figured out, because it's technically not illegal, you could just fire people if you want to make more money, if you want to turn that 5% into 10%. Yeah, that Reagan, that's what I said. Reagan will always be the devil, bruh. The devil. I was like, I did not know that started like in the 80s. I was like, just another reason to hate fucking Reagan. And an internal memo to employees, Amy Coleman's executive vice president and Microsoft's chief people officer, blamed the job losses on the changing technology industry and the need to adjust the resources and roles and shift how we operate to respond to how AI is impacting companies like Microsoft. I also want to be direct that roles eliminated today are not being replaced by AI, says Coleman. At the same time, what is true is that AI is changing how work gets done. AI has ruined everything. Yo, Microsoft Copilot fucking sucks. I don't want it in the Xbox. So what industry changing thing are you talking about? I promise your mom and your dad, who still goes to Best Buy, which I don't know why, when they walk into Best Buy, I guarantee you they are not asking for a premium edition of Copilot. Hey, which one of these PCs got Microsoft Copilot in it, bro? We don't care. Yeah, we don't care. This is a situation, honestly, where this is a new piece of technology that they felt like was going to catch on, and they're trying to shove it down our throats, but actively we keep saying that we don't want this stuff, man. The layoffs will impact around 1,600 Xbox employees today, with plans to eliminate a total of around 20% of Xbox jobs by the end of the financial year. Microsoft is also selling off 4 Xbox studios and weighing up selling another studio as it looks to reset its Xbox business after years of struggles. You can read more about the Xbox layoffs that impact studios here. Okay. Decisions like these are never easy, and you have my commitment that we are constantly looking for ways to reduce the need for job elimination, says Coleman. No, you're not. You're not trying hard enough, bro. You're not trying hard enough. Whenever possible, our priority is to place people into new roles aligned to the company's highest priorities and greatest areas of opportunity. Over the past year, we have redeployed more than 4,000 employees into new roles, including another 500 this month. Let's move on to the Xbox side of shit, though. Microsoft is selling off 4 Xbox studios as part of a significant gaming cut. You know the layoffs. Let's see. Double Fine and Compulsion Games are returning to their founders, so they're going independent. So Tim Schafer will take Double Fine back to independence along with, I don't know how to pronounce that, Guillaume Provas, making Compulsion Games an indie game studio again. Ninja Theory, the makers of Hellblade and Undead Labs, the developer behind State of Decay, are also being sold, with agreements in place to ensure Senua and State of Decay 3 continue to ship. So if you were worried about those games, at least we know they're coming, but it is going to be a rocky road. I recognize that's a year-long restructuring creates additional challenges. Unfortunately, it's not possible to make all the necessary changes in a single day, and I wanted to be direct about the scale, says Asha. I know this is painful. These changes will directly affect people who have poured their creativity into building Xbox. Many joined us through the acquisitions, while others were recruited here or sought us after because they loved this industry and loved Xbox. Today's decisions do not reflect their talent or dedication. Of course it doesn't. This is a classic case of putting the cart before the horse. The horse goes in front of the cart. What I mean is, when Microsoft bought Activision, they shouldn't have went out and bought Bethesda. If they, or whichever one they bought first, I forgot. Was it Bethesda or Activision? I don't remember. They should have bought, if they really wanted to own one of those, they should have owned one. First saw a return, put out some quality games, focus on that for the next 5 years, and focus on getting a return from that $10-20 billion investment that you had. Instead, you bought studio after studio after studio after studio. And if you don't know anything about business, the one thing you should know is you should keep your overhead low. You slowly want to take on responsibility. That's why a lot of content creators crash and burn. The moment they start making a little bit of money, they want to go buy a house in the hills in LA, or they want to move to LA, period. They start buying fancy cars and shit like that. As far as I'm concerned, I'm broke. Y'all niggas don't know what the fuck I got going. I'm broke. I fell off. I love that shit, bro. I fell off. You keep your overhead low. But they bought Activision and Bethesda back to back. Mind you, Activision and Bethesda have several studios under the umbrella, so they acquired like 20 plus studios. And I don't know if y'all remember, there was also talks that Xbox was thinking about buying Ubisoft. You guys put the cart before the horse when you should have just been focused on putting together cool creative games and then also backing them, because I also feel like Xbox doesn't support their games. Hi-Fi Rush, left it out to die. South of Midnight, you left it out to die. And then for some reason, you tried to force Redfall on us. That game sucked. Nobody asked for that shit, bro. Microsoft is also weighing up selling or closing another Xbox studio, as reported last week. Arcane Studios is currently working on Blade under Xbox management, but the project has been delayed in running over budget. In France, Arcane's management is beginning required consultation with its works council to review potential strategic options, says Asha. These discussions could take months, so it's not clear what will happen to Blade or Arcane Studios. Translation: the Daywalker is officially in limbo. To be fair, that was the previous management. I can like Asha made the best out of this. I feel like she made the best out of a situation. I feel like that's fair. Yes, this is primarily Phil Spencer's fault. Let's not get that twisted. This is primarily his fault. That being said, I also don't trust, we can't trust Asha in my opinion, because when Asha stepped up, she got on social media, started running her mouth about all these amazing changes that are about to happen and what's happened since then. We got a little price drop in the Game Pass. That's cool. But other than that, it's just been layoffs and games being canceled. If things were really that bad, I don't know about y'all, but me personally, I respect somebody who just rips the Band-Aid off. Fucking rip the Band-Aid off and say, this shit is terrible over here, and I'm gonna do my damnest to fix it. But right now, we are going to have to make her. That's not what she did. Remember, they launched a whole website talking about feedback. What do you want to see from the Xbox brand? We're going to do this, that, and the third. And all we got is fucking layoffs. So like, no, I don't want to hear that shit. She did the best. The best situation, making the best out of this negativity, is being honest. She should have been honest. It gives Snake low key. So it's like, I don't trust anything that she says. I don't trust nothing that she says. Honestly, these layoffs were probably going to happen even if Phil was still around. Yes, we just said that. Guys, keep up. Keep up. We've agreed. This is primarily Phil's fault. But I'm talking about the role that Asha played, because motherfuckers in the chat talking about some, oh no, she did the best she could. No, she didn't. She was honest in the memo. What do you mean? Yeah, she's being honest now. Y'all gonna make me cut this stream off. She's being honest now. But what about the last few months? That's what did we just forget? Are you one of the people that pre-ordered the GTA $100 edition? Did we just forget the last few months? Yeah, she was capping in the showcase. Mind you, this is the same woman that tweeted out that gaming has a problem with terms of cost and things being too expensive. And then announce expensive shit. Like, what are we talking about here? Yeah, she has no choice but to be honest now. When you're forced to be honest, that's not the same as coming out and just ripping the Band-Aid off. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all processing like dial up. Y'all being simps over females, LOL. What are you talking about, nigga? I'm gonna give you a timeout for that. Like, don't get me wrong, that nigga Adonis, I don't think he understood what I was talking about, but you were just somewhere else. At least he was on topic. What the fuck are you talking about? Nobody's simping. Like, what do you... This nigga just wanted to tell us he hates women. We get it, bro. We fucking get it. What are you talking about? You said females, red alert? Yeah, we was talking about that last week. It's the way they say that shit, man. Y'all simping. Nobody's simping over anything. What are you talking about? It's always the YouTube chat. Let's stay on topic. We're just talking business. Nobody was simping over anything. If anything, it was just a misunderstanding. You can't be honest in corporate, but she isn't your friend type shit. That was a red pill ass comment. You're right. People act dumb when they call them men who say females. This shit is like, nah, we not gonna let that slide. We finna stay on topic. But anyways, yeah, this is unfortunate, man. I feel like if Blade gets canceled, just pack up Xbox, man. They can't be trusted at all. Asha, if you want to regain any level of trust with the gaming community, you better make sure this game comes out, and you better make sure it's good. Not just that it comes out, it better be fucking good. And in some of her recent interviews, she foreshadowed that a big change was coming though, and that a big reset was needed. Yo, shout out to Rocket Hokage with the $10 super chat. A foreshadow and just ripping the band-aid off are two different things. Words have meanings, guys. I'm not asking for a foreshadowing. I'm saying, hey man, goddamn, I took a look at the books and this shit is not it. Imagine if motherfuckers was honest with Bungie. Imagine if Bungie was honest, the CEO. If he was honest from the get-go and didn't lie to Sony, they wouldn't be in the situation that they're in. All I'm saying is she still can do better. The bottom line is, whether you disagree with me or not, this company is fucking drowning. Can we agree on that? The company's drowning. We can agree to disagree on that topic. Either way, this company is drowning. What are we going to do about this shit? We're laying people off. We're laying people off. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Y'all better get it together, or by next generation, this company ain't going to exist. Because the Microsoft stocks is down. I was just talking about how these studios are fun, but bro, Xbox and PlayStation, no more. Yeah, you know what's the biggest takeaway from this? And this applies to Xbox and PlayStation. No more acquisitions. And specifically, I'm talking to game studios. Stop falling for the trap. Look at the books. If you can afford to remain independent, please do so. Please remain independent. It's not worth signing on because you're doing a deal with the devil. The moment they see something that they don't like, you down 1% or 2%, they gonna fucking fire you all. It's not worth it. And then on top of that, like I said, one of the biggest sins that Microsoft committed is they didn't support these games. Games came out and they were on the Game Pass, but they really didn't advertise them. Like, they just did a terrible job of presenting these games to the public. When it comes to new IPs, you need to advertise them. And they just left them to die. Shout out to John Space Cowboy with the super chat. They need to break up these companies from owning all these game studios. And this is actually a prime example of why a monopoly is not good. When one company has all that power, they have the power to lay off a bunch of different people. Versus if the power is split up, at least if one domino falls, it's like, okay, that's unfortunate, but at least we have these other dominoes. But if it's all under one domino and the domino falls, it falls on all of us, bro. That's why they say don't put all your eggs in one basket. Most people just didn't care for games like Kiln. I think so. Yeah, me personally, I wasn't into that Kiln, the little cup game, but I think games like that deserve to exist because people are into that. If anything, I would rephrase that and say that, like, I think Microsoft wasn't reading the room. Games like Kiln that are super niche and hyper creative, I do feel like those primarily can only exist if you're hitting your stride everywhere else. The problem with Microsoft, those type of games need to be subsidized, right? What I mean is, like, Microsoft needs to... Yo, shout out to Get Hustle with the $10 super chat.
TBH, did you see that EA are putting the same pay for convenience models that 2K have in their offline game modes?
Yeah, I saw that with college football. They have pay-to-win microtransactions inside of the single player. It's EA. Why are y'all surprised? Stop buying it. But yeah, I feel like Microsoft wasn't hitting their stride in terms of, like, where's the new Gears, where's the new Forza, where's the new Halo. Their big three is not hitting the same, and they still haven't came out with a new big three. At least PlayStation got Ghost of Tsushima. It got The Last of Us. At one point was new. It's got Intergalactic coming. It's got Wolverine coming. It got Spider-Man. Like, Microsoft hasn't established any type of new IPs to get people excited about their platforms. And then they're just putting out random shit like Kiln, like South of Midnight. And like South of Midnight is a dope artistic game that I liked. But I can recognize also that that's not going to appeal to everybody. That's only going to appeal to like hardcore gamers. Shout out to John Space Cowboy with Super Chat. Xbox buying Activision was pointless. Y'all paid all that money for Call of Duty knowing it was dying. Well, that's the thing. I think they're out of touch. I don't think they knew that when they bought Activision, people weren't really fucking with Call of Duty. They just seen the numbers and assumed that like the sentiment was good. Shout out to Black Math Nerd with the sub. Appreciate it. Yeah, you left Horizon. PlayStation got Horizon. They had Hi-Fi Rush, but like I don't feel like they pushed it. I feel like Hi-Fi Rush came out and a week later nobody was talking about it. It was a creative game. It was cool. They need to make a game that can make money. Yeah, Xbox needs their own Ghost of Tsushima. They need their own Horizon. They need those big AAA, easily digestible games. Gears 5 could be one of those. That shit does look fire, but I'm talking about new IPs, and they need to consistently do that shit, bro. Shout out to King with the super chat. I don't know if you saw, but instead of doing an annual release for F1 2026, EA just released S1 2026's DLC for 2025 with team changes, a few maps, and some bullshit for $30. You think they're soft launching this for other games? Is F1 racing? I wouldn't be surprised if they did that with other games, because the thing about EA and like businesses, they're trying to do as little work as possible and keep their margins down, their spending down, so they can maximize the profit, bruh. You think Blade can be one of those Xbox big three? Yeah, it was supposed to be. But maybe Xbox doesn't see that. Maybe Xbox only sees how much they're spending and they're like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Because to be fair, Arcane is mainly known for what's the name? The joint with Corvo. I could never remember the game. Dishonored. They're mainly known for Dishonored, but Dishonored's not a mainstream game. Dishonored is a gamer's game, so maybe they were looking at the success of Dishonored and saying, I don't know. But then the flip side, I would argue it's Blade. Blade kind of sells itself like Spider-Man. Spider-Man sells itself. Wolverine sells itself because they're big IPs. So like I think they should continue to just let them make it as long as the game is good. Xbox appoints Helen Chang as the COO. Studios to only have a maximum of 5 management layers. CEO Asha said that in some instances, Xbox had 14 different management layers and that she wanted to simplify things. That's crazy. I read that on Twitter. That's fucking crazy. As part of the recent layoffs at Xbox affecting around 1,200 employees for now, with roughly 3,200 total layoffs planned for the rest of the year, CEO Asha has revealed plans for the future of the division. These plans include resetting the platform as a whole and resetting how the Xbox division operates. In a post titled Resetting Xbox, Ms. Asha has said that in the division's management layers will see reductions to a maximum of 5 layers, and where possible, the company will only have 13 layers for its various studios. 3 layers, my bad, for its various studios. Through this flatter organization built around markers, and where does it say markers? Individual contributors focusing on the building, player coaches, leaders who remain deeply involved with the work while developing their teams, and directly responsible individuals, DRIs, who own key decisions and outcomes. Asha wants to streamline the company's overall workflow. This will include having a cleaner code base, shared services, and a vendor spend being reduced by 50%. Translation: way too many cooks in the fucking kitchen. This is actually crazy to hear. Yeah, this is why this shit was failing. It sounds like Xbox overhired and everybody's got an opinion. Imagine you're making a game, right? Like you're like the level designer, right? You made level 2. But level 2 has to go through 14 checkpoints before it's fucking finalized. And in those 14 checkpoints, everybody's got a different opinion. That's what's going on. Too much bureaucracy. And that shit sucks in a corporate environment like Microsoft, where a lot of these dudes are techies. We know a lot of them come from AI. We're talking about creativity. The thing about creativity is that's your vision. It's something that's in your head. So trying to explain to somebody who went to school for the zeros and ones, they're not going to understand that. So imagine having this really cool idea and you have like a prototype, but you got to sit there and tell it to suits who only know zeros and ones and cells and shit. Yeah, 14 circles of hell.
Spin that shit. Yeah. Spin that shit.
Yo, shout out to Savo with the sub and shout out to Artist with the sub as well. That's why their messaging was all over the place. So I would say this is a W move streamlining things if it's organized. It was too much going on. The reason behind this was the fact that Xbox sometimes had 14 layers of management between the studios and the decision makers. Along with this, the company also suffered from ballooning team sizes, with platform teams being 40% larger than they were when the Xbox Series X and S launched, despite a decline in player base and playtime. That complexity has slowed decisions, blurred accountability, and made it harder to deliver for players. Sometimes you need somebody on the team to say, fuck it, we're going left. Like, we can't be debating all day, left, right, fuck it, we're going left, bro, because I'm left-handed. That's why. I mean, Expedition 33 only had a team of like 33 people. Fucking NBA The Run got a team of 18 people. These companies need to understand you don't need to have 1,000-person teams. I feel like the gaming industry's britches got too big. Everybody wanted to have, it became a dick measuring contest, a nerd dick measuring contest. Who got the biggest campus? Epic Games, Microsoft, fucking Sony Santa Monica. And like, you just don't need all that, bruh. I don't want to hear shit about how much it costs. Yeah, that's another thing too. I feel like gamers got to get away from. I don't want to hear shit about what a game costs. That's your choice. If you want to keep the cost down, then make that decision. But don't make the decision to spend hundreds of $millions on one game and then get mad at me because I'm not interested in buying it. Bro, you can eat my dick. That is not how shit works. Make a product that I'm interested in and I'll play it. But just because you spent $200 million on Concord doesn't mean people are going to be interested. That's just not how it works. I do feel like people went too hard on that game, but even still, I don't know what $200 million went to. I didn't see $200 million of content in that shit. Another core part of the Xbox future of Xbox is the appointment of a new chief operating officer, CEO, who will have end-to-end profit and loss responsibilities across content, hardware, platforms, and services. The role being taken up Helen Chang, who has previously worked on building up Xbox Live and Minecraft developer Mojang. Chang's appointment means that former CEO Dave McCarthy is retiring after having worked at Xbox for 17 years. I got an idea, Xbox, and this is going to be beneficial in multiple ways, right? How about we ditch the 2 SKU system, right? Fuck all this Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S shit. When you have to make 2 different platforms, you have to spend more money on research and development for 2 different platforms. Then you got to spend more money on manufacturing 2 different platforms. Just put out one good console. How about that? Can I get a... Especially because that Xbox Series S is holding gaming back. I don't like it. It's a respectable thing what they tried to do, but stop trying to appease the brokies. I agree. Stop trying to appease them. It's hurting y'all. Because now developers have to make a game that runs on the Xbox Series S that holds back the PlayStation 5, that holds back the Xbox. I don't like it. Let it go. Let it fucking go. Especially because most people ain't buying that shit. Let's see. She will bring our business together under one operating model, making sure we make clear investment decisions, learn from our successes and failures, and hold ourselves accountable for results. Asha went on to note that the aim of these changes is to make sure that Xbox has a bigger future going forward and not a smaller one. I hope she figures that out. The next decade of gaming will be larger and more global and more creative than ever we've seen before. This year, we'll invest as much in Xbox as we ever have, but we'll invest with greater focus, greater discipline, and greater clarity, all in service of making Xbox where the world plays and creates. Hey, we gonna hold you to it. I want to see new shit. I better not see nothing about that goddamn Blade being canceled. Cam Boozer's balling. Cam Boozer's balling. I'll hit it for him. You're not in any category right now? Really?
Spin that shit.
That's weird. We'll go just chatting. Cam Boozer's balling. Darren Peterson's balling. I'm not gonna lie. The pressure kind of on AJ. Fucking Darren Peterson put up 28 points. Cam Boozer put up 15 and he had 5 assists and some shit like that. I'm gonna need AJ to step up this week, man. So with that statement said, do you still think the digital Xbox is going to be a thing? Oh yeah, it's possible because there's an article about it right here. Rumor, Xbox is still evaluating whether Project Helix will support physical disc. Yes, I'm excited for the Wizards Jazz game. I will be watching that shit. I will be watching it. I've watched a couple of Summer League games already. I was watching one earlier. I watched the Hawks versus OKC. There's obviously been a lot of talk over the past few days about Sony's decision to cease physical discs for PlayStation consoles as of 2028, and some people have been urging Xbox not to make the same mistake in the process. It's been a belief for a while that now that Xbox's new console known as Project Helix won't include a disc drive out of the box, but apparently still hasn't been fully finalized yet, at least according to a report from The Verge last week. I understand Microsoft hasn't fully finalized whether the next generation Xbox codenamed Project Helix will ship with the built-in disk drive. This was particularly interesting to mention from The Verge, as others have been reporting that Helix almost certainly wouldn't ship with the built-in disk drive. Windows Central's Jez Corden was one of those people, for example, who took to the Xbox 2 podcast recently and suggested that Microsoft appears to be reevaluating how to handle the situation around physical disks, although he's still on the belief that a built-in disk drive is unlikely for Project Helix. Tom Warden put in an article on The Verge that nothing has been decided yet. Things had been decided for Helix previously. However, Tom had more up-to-date information that Microsoft is now seeing what might be possible about Helix with regards to discs. I went and tried to update my information, and it does seem like indeed they're trying to figure out what they can do here before they fully commit to the death of physical discs. Xbox. We know for a fact that PlayStation 6 will not have a disc drive. If you want to stand out, put a disc drive in the new Xbox, man. Put a fucking disc drive in the new Xbox. You know what you're gonna get? You're gonna get that portion of gamers who are not interested in PC gaming. They love console and they love collecting. They're gonna go to the fucking Xbox, bro. This is a fucking layup. It's not gonna solve all your problems, but this is a layup right here. Don't miss it. Don't follow PlayStation. This is an easy layup. Again, as mentioned, Corden doesn't think a disk drive will ship as a standard in Project Helix. Perhaps a separate add-on could be available for console that could read this instead. Shout out to Dre Boy with the super chat. What up? It's also worth noting that The Verge's report was mainly about a disc-to-digital feature that's said to be in the works at Xbox right now. They're just yapping at this point. You think people would pay the premium for the disk drive? Let's not put that idea in their head. Let's not do that. Let's just make it a part of the console. They forget the power of appeasing a targeted audience instead of trying to appease everyone. Yeah, hone in on that niche. Let's not make the idea of a disc drive being a premium. That's a scary world. Better just expect it to be digital only. It's an easy W. Watch them fumble because remember they want to save money. Yeah, I personally feel like if both the PlayStation and the Xbox go digital only, I feel like they're going to shoot themselves in the foot. It's just going to drive more people to PC. I get for some people it's big and scary to build a PC, but I think some people are going to take that jump finally. Because in your head, how do you justify this shit, right? I got to pay $1,000 for a console that's not even plug and play anymore. This bitch got to update every week. Even the controller got to update. There's a closed ecosystem where they control the price of everything. PC, you get multiple stores, you get free games, the online is free, there's the Steam sales, certain platforms you actually own the games. It's crazy to think that PC gaming might be the only platform where you actually own the games, and it's crazy because PC was the first to go all digital. Ain't that a crazy world? There would literally be no reason to own a console other than you're just lazy. And if you could admit that, that's fine. Like, I respect that. But like, if I really sit there and break it down, I'm like, why do you fucking have this? Why do you have this anymore? We don't care. Can't afford PC anyway. That was a very YouTube comment. I'm not going to lie. Did you miss the point where I said the gaming consoles are going to be the same price as PCs? They're going to be $1,000 plus. I don't know if you know, there's this thing going on in the world. It's called a RAM shortage. Oh boy, I'm not in the mood today. You niggas are stupid, man. Stupid. What's going on, chat? The PS5 is $950 right now. An old piece of hardware. Jesus Christ, man. It's fucking crazy. It's still cheaper. No, it's not. That was the whole point. No lie, the no disc makes me not want to upgrade. You can see some people comport. Yo, shout out to Q with the gifted subs. I appreciate it. Please, come on, man. Let's keep the IQ high. Let's keep it high. Let's keep it high. What's good? What do you got? He said, I'm a bot, LOL. At least you know. Not gonna lie, with all the news, I've been heavily debating switching to PC. I just don't know how to go about it. Hey, listen, if you don't want to build a PC, go to Costco, bro. They always have good deals. You can get a solid PC for like $1,600 from Costco. Save up for it. And it's no, they usually be having like 560, 570s in them and shit. What the big Xbox restructure means for the Game Pass. Honestly, the only thing keeping me on PlayStation are the exclusives and trophy systems. Still game on PC, but it's a secondary. I feel that. The reason I still lean towards like, I don't think there will be a reason to be on PlayStation. That answer could change if PlayStation and Xbox increase their output of exclusive and quality exclusives. I don't think they put out enough exclusives to justify only being closed in that ecosystem. Like, do I want to play Wolverine? Absolutely. And I have a PlayStation. But if we're keeping it a buck, would I die if I never played it? No. I feel the same thing about GTA. That's going to be on PC as well. It's just not an experience I really need. You're going to have to explain it to the YouTube chat what apples and oranges say. It ain't show. You didn't like Knack 2? Nah. On a side note, you could always add a disk drive to PC, and there's software that allows you to burn the data to emulate the games on your own disk. I mean, that's fair, but realistically, who's doing all that? Like, I don't personally know anybody who does that. Yo, shout out to Schofield with the sub. Appreciate it. You can just download the files. But yeah, Game Pass. Xbox, as we know it, is about to look very different. The CEO on Monday, yeah, layoffs. Amid it all, Game Pass, Xbox games on-demand service, and the linchpin of its strategy in the post-COVID era was curiously absent from today's announcement, at least explicitly. In her memo to staff, Asha mentioned Game Pass just once in a paragraph that was most generously be read as skewering our former CEO Phil Spencer's decade-long regime. Our business today is not healthy. We are operating at margins that are 3 to 10 times lower than comparables, platforms, and publishing businesses. We entered Gen 9 with a smaller install base and a higher cost structure. To grow, we bet on Game Pass, multi-platform, and a broader portfolio of content. While those businesses have created meaningful value, they did not grow at the pace we expected. As that happened, our core business weakened, and we added more teams, more investment, and more time, hoping for a better outcome. And now the industry is facing the most severe hardware crisis in its history. We must reset Xbox. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. In the reset, Game Pass isn't going anywhere. Xbox still plans to invest in the service. GameFile's Steven Toledo reported, citing a source familiar with the company's plans, in addition to the fact that Game Pass generates $5 billion a year in revenue. But a year from now, Game Pass will likely look much different. Ooh. The most immediate likely impact is a long-time perk for the service. For years, Xbox has put its first-party games available day one, but with fewer companies making first-party games, that perk will have less going for it. 4 studios, Compulsion, Double Fine, Ninja Theory, and Undead Labs, will no longer be part of the Xbox Game Studios. And the fate... Shout out to Kumbambe with the sub, appreciate it. And the fate of Arcane Studios, which is based in France, is unclear while Xbox explores potential strategic options in accordance with French's labor laws. Since Xbox's big acquisition spree in the late 2010s, those studios have released the following games day one on Game Pass, marking a notable addition to the service's day one offerings, which is these games right here. This game is fucking awful. This game, I didn't even know this shit came out. This is what I mean when I say Xbox does a piss poor job of explaining what's on the Game Pass. Undead Labs did not release a single game while under Xbox's watch, though is currently working on State of Decay 3, planned for a 2027 release. That's on Xbox. There were a bunch of these studios that didn't release any games. Part of the publisher's job is to correctly manage these artists, because the thing about artists is sometimes they just be in their own fucking world, and that is a positive role if done correctly and the power is not abused. The publisher doesn't just front the bill, but they also keep the developers honest. Because like I said, with an artist, sometimes they'll just end up in their own world, or they'll be too focused on perfecting stuff and then it never gets out. Because why the fuck have they not put out a game since being acquired? Ninja Theory has, but that's on Xbox because they didn't It's like they're not putting the game out, and Xbox is not doing any type of management. It's just an L across the board. Ninja Theory has Senua in the works for a 2027 release date. Both games were shown at Xbox June's 2026 showcase. And Asha's Monday memo noted that transitions to the new ownership will allow the studio to complete and grow both games as well, in addition to nodding towards Compulsion and Double Fine's next games. It's possible Xbox could still cut deals with all 4 studios to launch whatever they have next on the Game Pass. Listen, guys, you guys need some heavy hitters, okay? Psychonauts 2, great game. It's niche. Deathloop, I didn't like this game, but it was still niche. Redfall, this game just fucking sucks. Senua Saga's Hellblade 2, this game fucking sucks. Keeper, I don't even know what this is. What is this? This got positive reviews. I don't know what the fuck this is, bro. Oh, it's that goofy light haul. I'm good off this. All right. It's got good reviews. Probably a really creative game. But this does not appeal to the masses. It's too niche. South of Midnight, solid game. It's a 7 out of 10. It does not appeal to the masses. Kiln, the game where you make pottery. It does not appeal to the masses. And then y'all bet a bunch of money on Call of Duty. Call of Duty is Andre Drummond. It's fucking Kevin Love. It's Gary Payton on the Heat. It's on his last legs. Like, it's still playing. It's still in the league. But it's Shaq in the Celtics jersey. It's not hitting, bro. Like, it's not fucking hitting, dog. It's washed. It's fucking. This is the real problem right here. And I want people to understand I'm not disrespecting any fucking niche creative games, because like I said, I like South of Midnight. Y'all know I play these games. This is no disrespect to any of these people. But I also am a realist. Unfortunately, you do have to have those heavy hitters that have mass appeal to everybody. You gotta appeal to the ball and gun gamers. Because one thing I will give the ball and gun gamers is their tastes are fucking terrible. They got that chicken tender diet. But them niggas will spend money. I'll give them that much. They will spend money. Look at 2K. Look at Madden. Matter of fact, look at college football. Some of you bitch ass niggas is in my chat tonight complaining that college football 27 has a single player mode where you have to pay to upgrade your character. There's no online. And what I say, stop playing again. Whoa, 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 whoa. They can't stop. They can't stop. So I'm gonna give them that. They buy games. They've got to make more games that appeal to the ball and gun. Look at GTA 6. They don't care the ramifications that shit's gonna have on the industry. $100, here you go. Look at Wolverine. We on that. They need to make more ball and gun adjacent games. And to be fair, I think that could have been Blade. It could have been Blade. Blade has crossover appeal. That's the one game that you should not fucking cancel, Asha. And then go figure out some more Blades. You need at least 2-3 more of them bitches, bruh, that we can turn into trilogies. Talking to complain, not to hear advice. Wait, what did they do to college football? They have a new single player mode where you can create your own character and play through college, and you can pay to upgrade your character. And apparently it's really hard to grind it. But the worst part is there's no online component like 2K's My Career. They have a My Career in college football, but it's just single player. I was gonna say Fable, but that's a multi-plat. It's a multi-plat. And to be fair, I'm gonna be honest, I like those games, man. I like Gears. Looks fire. They need more Gears. It's okay to have that balance. I feel like Xbox went too niche. You got to have a balance of niche titles to keep the hardcore piece, and you got to have a balance of like mainstream games to get the ball and gun gamers, because like I said, they gonna spend some money. The problem with people who play games like this, they're gonna be a little bit more what's the word, responsible with their money. They only gonna play stuff that they really interested in. I bought the $99 version of College Football 27. I'm part of the problem. At least you know it. Hey, drop $99 as a super chat. Since you got $100 for an annual football game, go ahead and drop a $99 super chat. You got the money. At least drop me a 50, nigga. What else I got? Catastrophic mismanagement and AI gambits led to the mass Xbox layoffs, experts said. Microsoft has announced sweeping layoffs. Yeah, we know. Ed Zitron, an author who specializes in covering the technology space and is CEO of Easy Primary Research, offered a blistering take on Microsoft's management in response to the mass layoffs. Catastrophic mismanagement by a company run by a McKinnison imbecile that hires other losers to move money around to hide how bad his AI plays are. Microsoft is a disgrace to the software industry. Oh my lord. This nigga got beef with Microsoft. Zitron has been out. Shout out to Pokemon with the super chat. Appreciate you.
Studios getting shut down, but Halo Studios is somehow still here.
All these Xbox studios are getting shut down, but Halo Studios is still somehow here. I'm telling you, I said it on the podcast. I think 343 Industries, aka Halo Studios, because they rebranded. I think 343 Industries has something on Microsoft. They got a picture of Bill Gates in like a thong, busting it wide open, getting pegged or some shit, bruh. Because I just don't understand why these niggas are still employed. If you did a bad job at your job, you get fired. If I did a bad job, people would stop watching me. They'd stop donating. They'd stop supporting the YouTube and all that other stuff. But for some reason, at 343 Industries, they just keep getting to bastardize one of the most beloved franchises in gaming with Master Chief. Bill Gates, yo, chill. Ziltron has been an outspoken critic of the elements of AI in particular, recently appearing on CNBC to offer the bear case against generative AI. One of the biggest lies of the AI bubble is that Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Meta are growing because of AI. In reality, they're using the continued growth of their other business units to cover the meager returns from AI and the massive waste of trillions in capex. Translation, this is a bubble that's about to burst, and I'm not gonna lie, that's what I like to hear. Microsoft, of course, is massively invested in AI, and Zitron appears to be suggesting here that some of the issues that led to these dramatic cuts at Xbox are in some ways tied to Microsoft's AI plays. I agree. I actually agree with what he says. I think the truth is in the middle. I do think Xbox has been fucking up and mismanaging some situations, but I also think that Xbox is being used as a scapegoat because Microsoft, as well as these other companies, have overly invested in AI, and they haven't seen the returns that they're looking for. AI has not made the world better. All it's done is gotten your friend addicted to asking that shit question. ChatGPT, am I hungry? ChatGPT, what should I do? I'm tired. ChatGPT, my girl said we need to spend more time together. What should I do, ChatGPT? Poison the environment, used up water, eating up all the RAM. There are some practical, useful things for it, for like research and shit, right? Or skimming through code. But in my opinion, and I've been said this, I just think the cons outweigh the pros, and we need to dial it back some. Yeah, ChatGPT, what the hell did it mean, man? In his statement today addressing the cuts, Microsoft said, yeah, they're yapping. So he was just talking shit about this. Yeah, I agree with this. I think the truth is in the middle. Bro already got exposed for giving his wife an STD because he couldn't wrap it up with an escort. You talking about Bill Gates? Why you know that? That's crazy. That is crazy. I never thought that I would get a Bill Gates dingaling update. That is fucking crazy. Shout out to you, dog. This nigga gave us a Bill Gates peener update. Like, I never thought it's in the e-files. Oh, I missed that page, dog. I missed that page. Got the Bill Gates, the Bill and Melinda sexcapades update. Oh, shit. It's in the, I believe y'all. I missed that page. That's my fault. I missed that fucking page, right? Xbox wanted 77 million Game Pass subscribers by 2026. Today, it has less than half of that. Bill Gates update. Xbox is not doing well, and following the announcement that the company will cut 3,200 jobs in the coming months, many are wondering what went wrong. In a memo detailing the scope of the layoffs, Xbox CEO Asha revealed at least one factor: Game Pass did not grow at the pace we expected. According to a Wall Street Journal report, Game Pass currently only has 30 million subscribers. Only, chat. Only 30 million subscribers. What the fuck, bro? Hold up. Let's see, 30. Oh, shit. There we go. We're going to multiply that by, how much is Game Pass? Let's see. Game Pass price. Price update. It's okay. It's 22. Well, no, because we got to count for the last year. They just changed it to 22, so it was 30 a month. So we'll do 30. Apparently $1 billion, almost $1 billion wasn't enough, guys. Apparently that wasn't enough. And that's when you have to sit back and ask yourself, at what point do you say this is a management issue? The number is significantly below the 77 million subscribers the company hoped to reach by July 2026, according to a document from the Federal Trade Commission's investigations into Microsoft's acquisition of the Activision Blizzard. They're losing me at the end of the month. They've been lost me and they're not getting me back. I'm just gonna buy my games, bro. It's just not worth it. Game Pass was only cool because it was cheap. It was like $10 a month. I was like, okay, I'll pay this. You bought that shit up to 30, nigga, fuck you. During this investigation, former Xbox CEO, that's why it always cracks me up when people be like, man, you gonna buy that GT. I never said I was gonna buy that. I've canceled. I've uninstalled and refunded games on stream. I canceled my Game Pass on stream. Like, what are we talking about? I'll be okay. It said these projections vastly underestimated the number of subscribers the service was expected to reach. He said that if Xbox Game Pass doesn't exceed the numbers shown during the hearing by fiscal 2027, then the company would exit the gaming business. Microsoft's 2027 fiscal year began on July 1st, 2026, and it's quite short of the figure. I do not believe that this is what the future Xbox business would look like. This is a presentation from our devices organization to the gaming's laptops team, leadership team. So this is the view from the team that is chartered with buildings our hardware on what the future business might look like. I can fairly safely say, who speaks like that? I can fairly safely say that if we do not make more progress than this is off console, we would exit the gaming business. If this were the outcome, we would. I don't believe we'd still be in the business. I don't believe they'll get out the business completely, not yet. I'll say this much. They got to dial back the expectations. Like 30 million subscribers is not enough. You wanted 77 million. I just don't think it could happen. Maybe they can find like a little bit of growth. Maybe they can move from 30 to 40 million, maybe even 50. But like 70 million plus, I just don't see it happening. And the reason being is it goes back to what I said earlier. It's the Game Pass's offering. Right now, in my humble opinion, the Game Pass primarily appeals to two demographics. I think it primarily appeals to people who are into niche games that want to play Microsoft Flight Simulator, A Bug's Life, Minecraft Legends, Psychonauts. These are all good games, right? But they are niche. They don't have that crossover appeal. And I feel like the Game Pass is full of really niche games. If they wanted to boost the sales of the Game Pass, we need more Gears of War E-Day. Like every fucking month, there should be a Gears of War E-Day quality game dropping. They need a monthly ball and gun gamer. There we go. There we go. You need a monthly game dropping that appeals to ball and gun gamers. If you can't do that, they're not gonna fucking sub. Imagine trying to sell this to a fucking ball and gun gamer. You want me to play as a little ass kid flying on beetles and fucking ladybugs? Nigga, what? I don't want to play that shit. Unless I'm a PS5 nigga, because for some reason PS5 niggas love this shit, bro. I don't want to fucking roll around in a honeydew. So I think the main problem is the quality of the product, and the problem with that is too, like, that's expensive AAA development. So like they need to figure out a different way to make this profitable. I don't know. Maybe come out, like I've said it on a previous stream, maybe come out with a new tier of Game Pass where like you're guaranteed all the AAA releases for that year for a certain price, and then you have the Game Pass where it's all access for a certain price if you just want to get people hooked. Because then maybe maybe they could do like a $10 a month one where you only get access to the AAAs, the Bethesdas, the Activision releases, those ones. That'll be $10 a month, but you don't get access to anything else. For $30, you'll get all the niche stuff plus the AAA stuff. But they're gonna have to figure out a way to appeal to a larger people, but also dial those expectations back. Because I agree with what you're saying in the chat. Like the expectations are a little too high. I just bought Ninja Gaiden 4 not too long ago, and I'm loving it. It's a solid game. I'm not gonna lie, that killing game was not it. Creative, but not it. Yeah, the moment I saw it, I was not interested. Do you get to keep a game off Game Pass after the month is over? No. Game Pass is like Netflix. It just gives you access to the games to play them. But once you stop playing them, or once you stop paying for it, whatever the date is that it says, that it's gonna stop for you, that's when you can no longer access it. So nah. If you got 1 credit for a game, you get to keep it a year, maybe. Yeah, like a credit system like that or something like that. But I think the general issue right now with Game Pass is I just think the quality of the product is not there. You got a game like Hellblade 2 where you just walk around for 5 fucking hours, bro. Nobody wants to pay $30 for that. You need more Expedition 33. That's what you need. And even still, Expedition 33 was kind of niche until you know, people lifted it up and it went mainstream. But when it first came out, it was niche. Xbox players are paying for Game Pass just for online and not playing the games. They should start like Audible, choose a game you want a month depending on the price tier. Yeah, we gonna see some changes. This is we already went over, and that's Asha's full statement. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not reading all this shit, bro. Especially because all these other articles covered it and kind of summarized it. But this is her full statement. If you want to read the full statement, I'll drop it in the chat. I mean, I could do it. I could do like a sad reading or some shit, bro. I could do that shit. Okay. This is an important email I sent out today to all you broke ass niggas at Xbox. We're beginning the most significant restructure in Xbox history. After careful consideration, I've made the difficult decision to reduce our team by approximately 3,200 through 2027. This will include approximately 1,600 roles eliminated today, and in addition, 4 studios will leave Xbox to new management. I recognize that a year-long restructuring creates additional challenges. Unfortunately, it's not possible to make all the necessary changes in a single day, and I wanted to be direct about the scale. I know this is painful. These changes will directly affect people who have poured their creativity into building Xbox. Many joined us through acquisitions while others were recruited here or sought us out because they loved the industry and loved Xbox. You know, jokes aside, I just thought about it. I'm not reading all that shit. Going back to what I was talking about, one of the issues is the quality of the Game Pass. I think I feel like Xbox forgot who they are. I said it on the podcast previously. They have no identity. But like, if you're old enough, you'll remember Xbox's identity, whether they liked it or not, was they were the dude bro console, right? And I feel like that's always kind of be their identity. And if all the dude bros, the ball and gun gamers went to fucking PlayStation, you need to do something to get them. And the thing is, they're putting games on the Game Pass like Minecraft Legends and Kiln. Ball and gun gamers do not want to play a game where you got to build a fucking pot. Nigga, I don't want to do that shit. I don't want to play a game where I sit down and play arts and crafts class and I make a dick print out of clay. I don't want to do that shit. It doesn't sound fun. Yeah, it's streamer games. So I generally think what would help them is if they up the quality in terms of doing maybe some research and development and asking, what does the ball and gun gamer want, bro? Get some Marvel IP or some DC games, man. Go get that Wonder Woman game, man. Bring it to Xbox. Resurrect that shit. Dig it out the grave. Resurrect it. Xbox exclusive. You're welcome. Fix Halo. Halo ain't gonna save Xbox. Halo at this point in Halo's career, the best Halo can do is give Xbox a moment. They don't need a moment. That's a band-aid. It can be there for the ride, but Xbox does not need a band-aid. Xbox, just like Call of Duty, not Xbox, but Halo, just like Call of Duty, is Shaq on the Celtics, okay? It is Scottie Pippen on the Blazers, okay? Dame Lillard on the Bucks, okay? It's just not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Halo is Brooklyn Nets KG. Yeah, outstanding. It just doesn't appeal to the kids like that. And a lot of people